Yo, 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 yo. What is up, everybody? How are we doing? It's a beautiful Friday. Bear with me. I'm going to make sure that we are live across all platforms. All right. We are live. All right. Okay. Let me get this all situated. Make sure we're live across all different platforms. Real quick. Open up the chat here. Live video. Mute myself. All right. Looks like we're good. Good to go. Let me check. Pump. Okay, still loading on Pump. And then we'll be golden. All right. Looks like we're going to be live here. Just making sure. We are good. Perfect. Live on Pump as well. That's what we like to see. All right. Hold up, y'all. All right. Boom. So, Mick may be joining us in here in a little bit to kind of, get some stuff just to have a nice little guest on. So, we'll see. I invited him. If he shows up, sick. If not, no big deal. But essentially, if you guys are new and you don't know who we are, my name is Jordan. I am the one of the co-founders and the CEO of Clipit, your AI-powered content engine, where essentially you'll be able to take long-form content, cut it up into short-form clips that are cut, captioned, and ready for you to post. We're in the Pump.fun Hackathon, building this product out with our community. We're in kind of an open beta, and our platform is credit usage. Essentially, it's on credit usage, so you can only use the platform if you have credits. So if you're interested in trying out the product, you can do that a couple ways. You can DM me personally on X. You can DM the Clipit page, which I will add to the screen here. Let me get this all going. You can DM our personal page here. You can DM me, and we can get you on board and get you some credits so that you can try out the site. Essentially, what we're building here is the infrastructure for short form content. And what we mean is the background that I have is in short form content creation and media and helping brands create short form content and, scaling social media teams and whatnot. And the trouble I had was the tools are really hard to use. A lot of these tools that are useful, like Opus and these other platforms that are similar to this, their pricing model is pretty extractive. It is extractive, not pretty. It is extractive, and they're not good enough. There has not been real evolution in this space. So this is kind of the platform that we built to solve that issue. And that's pretty much the story of how we got here. If you guys want to know more about our story, let me go to the YouTube here and go to our page right here. If you guys want to know more, about our story, how we got here and how we've built, we have a YouTube page where I am posting out kind of our story around how we got here and how we're building stuff. So we have these long form videos here. One's 9 minutes, one's 4 minutes. You can run over there, check those out. The page is literally Clipit Dev. All of our socials are Clipit Dev. Besides Instagram, it's Clipit.dev. Same as our domain Clipit.dev. So that's initially who we are, what we're doing, how you can learn more about us, and how you can get started using our platform. And today, I'm going to be showing you guys the exact workflow from start to finish on how you can use this platform and how it can help aid you down the line. I'll also be going over some more of our roadmap and initially where we're at with the features that we're building out. So the big features that we're pushing and testing right now and we're about to roll out is Remotion. Remotion allows you to generate essentially motion graphics, high quality captions through code, and it's a open source tool that kind of took over the internet. And will once that's plugged into our platform, it will allow us to have essentially gives us just another tool in our toolkit that will improve short form content on the platform. So that's a big build, and it's taken some time to get that in. But as soon as that is in, that is our big initial kind of one of our biggest features and best feature that we're going to have in the platform. And that's kind of what is going on right now. And then from there, I have a audited list of around 30 different, it's 30, give or less, 30 different just user experience, how to start with the user and improve the user experience of our site. And that is kind of what is going next. So I'm going to stop talking, and we're going to show you guys exactly how you can use this platform to benefit what you guys, your short form content, and how to benefit your guys's, your clips. Real quick, stop talking. And all right. So I think it is only right to honor a legend, Chuck Norris. So I'll show you guys exactly how you can get videos from YouTube. So essentially, I'm going to start from the beginning. Our platform, you can upload your own video and get clips. You can grab a video from YouTube, from X, from Pump.fun, from Google Drive links, Twitch. We have a bunch of platforms you can extract videos from. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to copy this YouTube link, and I'm going to paste this directly into our platform, which you can see we have an upload here if you want as well. And from here, what's going to happen is our AI is going to grab the video from YouTube, put it directly into our site. And from there, you'll be able to start creating clips based on that video. If it's your own video, pretty self-explanatory. Just click upload. You can upload your video in there. And then, like I said, we are credit-based usage. So what that means is kind of our model. And once we go to subscription model, this is good for you guys to know as well. Our subscription model is essentially going to be around $20. And what that does is it gets you a certain amount of credits. And the credits allow you to do whatever you want in the platform. So these other tools like Opus and CapCut and, all Clap app, like essentially they have a set price point and they have tiers, and each tier unlocks you a new feature, and it's extractive, right? So the basic tier, you won't be able to get all the features. I disagree with that. I think it should be, you get on the site, you should be able to do whatever you want, right? So we have these credits where essentially every action within the platform is tied to a specific amount of credits, right? So it could be an expensive usage, it can be a cheap usage, depending on what you're getting. Where it gets more expensive is, of course, the clips you create, and if you want to add stuff in like B-roll, and you want to add in stuff like thumbnails and kind of the heavier usage stuff, where motion will probably be on the heavier side. If you want like custom motion graphics, but all of that is right here, and you can kind of see, you'll see it update live to, in terms of how much credits you're using. So that's kind of just that's kind of how that works, and how the credit system is. If you guys have more questions, I'm going to open up. I guess I'll do it in this tab. This will guys give you a little more information. So this is us not signed. This is me not signed in, but this is our site and our landing page, which kind of breaks down a little more of our site. So you can see about 243 creators. We have this is actually not 20,000, 2,000 clips. So we need to adjust that. This kind of breaks down our flow, how the platform works, right? What the features are. And if you guys are curious, of course, we're in the Pump.fun Hackathon. One of the requirements is to launch a token. So we have a token, and essentially that token is going to be tied to the usage later down the line. But for now, we have the credit system, and then tokens is different. That is going to be in the future. It'll be the token is going to be tied into the usage. And so we'll have some dynamics that will tell you guys more about that. But if you guys are curious about our tokenomics, you can go to our website and see this tokenomics page where we have, it's going to be super clear with you guys, super transparent about what is on our what our tokenomics are. So you can look at that here. Another thing too that I want to double click on is when we turn on subscriptions, the other thing that's going to be really cool is that subscription revenue is going to go into buying back the token. So that's another big thing I want to double click on there while we're waiting on this video to extract from YouTube. And then from there, I will show you guys the exact flow where you guys can check out how to use the platform. So we'll just wait for this to extract. YouTube, typically it's about a 5 to 6 minute wait, depending on the length of the video. Longer videos are going to take longer, of course, 2 hours, 3 hours of footage, right? But you can see here, it takes around roughly 5 minutes, depending on the video. It's longer on YouTube just because of how we have to set it up for YouTube so that our platform works. All right, and you guys can see here the video has been extracted, and we have 2 methods. This, of course, when we get into those audit changes that I was telling you guys about, a lot of this stuff will be kind of tweaked and pushed and adjusted. And we'll figure out the flow better. But the quick clips with AI is the easiest, most automated way you can use this. If you guys are watching on X, do something for me. It doesn't cost you guys anything at all. It helps improve our content, improve our user base. Let's get a little repost it. Repost the stream. Have other people come in here, ask questions, get onboarded, and learn how to use this platform the right way. That's kind of what I like to do here on stream as well, is just essentially have this be an education tool for you guys on how to use this platform and get the most out of it. So yeah, let's just do that for me. It doesn't hurt you guys at all. It only helps. So with that being said, let's get some clips going. All right. So this is your prompt window where you can choose, you can essentially prompt what you want. You can choose your durations, right? 30, 60, 90. I'm gonna go probably 30-second clip. 16:9 is your aspect ratios. This ultimately part of my audit. I'm probably gonna remove this from the prompt window or tweak it in a way because we introduce aspect ratios throughout the whole platform. So having it there, ultimately, it's like, it's good to have, but I think you can change it any way you want. And if you guys are aware, if your video starts, we have a bug right now. And like I said, the bugs are being fixed. It's on the internet. We know what we need to fix. But right now, the remotion is such a big task that we're kind of making sure that we test this. And then from there, once the remotion is completely integrated and works flawlessly, we're going to move on to these little audit tweaks and little bug tweaks. So bear with me, guys. I know it's annoying, but the best way to get the most out of your clips is whatever the starting video aspect ratio is. For instance, the YouTube video is in 16:9. Choose 16:9. You can always pivot to 9:16 later in the platform. So 16:9, and then these caption styles. My favorite is the TikTok viral, and I'm going to look for. I'm just gonna do viral hooks. Probably not for TikTok, but because I haven't watched this video. If you know the source content of your video, it definitely helps. So if you know the video is more educational, of course, clicking educational is going to be better for that video. If you don't really know, you can just use our pre-selected, which ultimately I use viral clips because it just makes the most sense to be in what I want. So we'll kind of wait for Clipit to work, and Clipit is our AI assistant that allows you to get the most out of our platform. And that is what Clipit is going to do for you, is analyze the transcript, score for virality, and select the best clips for you. Yeah. If you guys are curious on essentially what is to come for the platform, I will show you guys this real quick. Our roadmap, while this is loading. All right, that's already done. Sick. All right, let me pull up the roadmap. So you can see these clips are processing. And I should have asked Nick if essentially what we're doing for the remotion testing is essentially only mine and his account. It actually has the stuff set up to test remotion. And that's because we want to make sure it's working before we just live push it. So I should have asked and had him disable it if I'm still under the remotion, the motion processing, because I had some issues. What's up, 23? How you doing? So I guess we'll see here. If this fails, it's just because I'm still under the remotion test whitelist. I don't know. But this is exactly what I was telling you guys about, our product roadmap. So 1A, 1B is what we're essentially 1A, 1B, like 1A and 1B are getting completed, and so is 2A. And then we'll move on from there, and I'll have an updated kind of flow for that as well. So that's kind of how that's going. And then as soon as Remotion is live for everybody and it's been tested and verifying that everything works, that is going to be a big announcement that I want you guys to really jump into the platform and use. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying the product, 23. Appreciate you. You're always in the DMs, always asking for giving us feedback and asking how we can and telling us how we can improve, which I really, really, really appreciate. So it looks like my clips are actually getting ready, so I must be off the thing. Here we go. But this is just, I wanted to honor a legend, Chuck Norris, right? So I grabbed the Chuck Norris video, so we'll have some pretty good clips here. We can look at some of these while we're waiting.
Twice that's happened. Now that's twice that's happened. I've done one of these before with a little old man, and they do that to you, and for just a fleeting second, everything gets warm and fuzzy.
So this is actually a good video to test this on because it's I want to see if it actually gets the right moments. So this is a different type of content I haven't put in the platform before. I've normally just put in like podcast or talking head videos essentially. So this will be a kind of a good one to try out.
And you're seconds away from the twilight zone.
So I think we're missing the first part of the video where it looks like he might have gotten a headlock or something, which we can adjust later. But let's look at some of these other clips while we're waiting.
Earlier about a guy was in the corner and they were yelling, "I'm going to stab him in the stomach."
Yeah, the party at my house.
Right. But a situation.
Dude, look at his hair, man.
He has a gun. He says, "Chuck," he said, "give me your wallet." I said, "Sure." I give him my wallet. I said, "You want to? I'll write you a check too if you want." But if he says, "I'm going to shoot you," well, then you have nothing to lose, right? Then it's nice to have this ability to try to get out of a situation like that. Mm-hmm. But you don't use it unless it's absolutely necessary.
But what I've
Okay, so I think we need to adjust those clips. These are still processing. I think I might still be in the Remotion pipeline. Yeah, I think I'm still in the Remotion pipeline. So this is only going to happen on my end, but the clips are being saved. It just takes longer to, and I might have to ping Nick to see, but let's see here. I'm going to reload this. There it is. So yeah, I'm still in the Remotion, essentially testing phase whitelist. So it's just, there's some processing errors that happen because we have this Remotion integration actively happening. This doesn't happen for anyone else. This will just happen for me and then Nick as we're testing it. So it's actually kind of good to show you guys this, is that like we're testing this stuff and we'll see how the Remotion activates and looks. Like I said, Nick might be joining us. I sent him an invite. He can jump in whenever, but let's look at some of these clips. The cool thing I want to show you guys here, where if you're new to the platform and you haven't tried this out yet, or you haven't tried the platform out a little bit, this has all been updated. And the nice thing that I did as a short form content editor is a lot of times I would look at the transcript and edit. What I mean is I would read the transcript and kind of, because from there I can kind of look at it and be like, that might be a viral moment if he says this. And then I can ultimately pick and choose the words that I want. So we've added that into the platform. So in the quick clips, if you're not happy with what was presented to you, you can then go in here and look at the transcript, and you can see here, clip start and clip end. That is essentially the clip and the word that's said in there. So from here, right, I was talking about how we were missing the first half where it looks like he did some sort of move on David Letterman. And I want to find that now in here, so you can kind of tell by looking at the transcript what happened, or sorry, what you need to add on. So here's this look here. Let's see this. Okay, here we go. Let's see this. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to pull down as hard as you can with the left and push with the right. All right, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna guess that that's where he kind of essentially starts his whatever he's trying to show David Letterman. So you can see here, this error is just because the clip is now being recut to that new duration, so extended based on where we clicked in the transcript. So that site's not broken, I promise. It's just we need to get a better way of presenting that, showing you guys that it's being processed. You can see down here as well, it's getting recut. So from here, we're now going to have a longer clip from 9:33 to 11:24, and then we'll see how that goes. I'll probably extend it down here more, but I'm curious to see what this clip, what part we just extended. So let's check out what happens here while we're waiting. But guys, give you guys kind of a walkthrough of the platform. I guess that's helpful too. So aspect ratios, we have some up here. Timeline toggle is here as well. Timeline still needs a lot of work. Like I said, once the remotion stuff is integrated, tested, and verified that it works, that's when this stuff starts to get even better in terms of user experience. Like I said, we've made a big push and been a big push in this in terms of improving it, but there's still a long way we need to go. And this is one of the things we improved upon, and this is verified and working. So let's wait for this to go. But you have here essentially your transcript where you can extend or cut clips with the transcript. We have our chat window here with Clippy where you can talk with Clippy, ask it for B-roll, ask it for content calendars, ask it to post stuff eventually. We have our, and then this right here triggers over here. So we have our captions. We have cropping that needs to be adjusted a little more. B-roll, you can also just generate B-roll by clicking. Thumbnails, you can also generate a thumbnail by just clicking. Audio, right? So eventually we'll add in stuff where you can add in your own assets. Wait, if I click the transcript and the clip now start from the new transcript? Yes, so 23. If you saw there, the clip started roughly like, I think it was like right here, right? So now that's twice. If you see, we have these little green text boxes right here above clip start and clip end. Essentially, that's the window of the dialogue that is in that clip. If you want to extend it to say something or there's a part that gets cut off, all you have to do is find the part that you want. And from there, you can click extend clip. And from there, you can see click to extend the clip, include this segment. From there, oh, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe who just stepped into the building. I'm going to bring him up on stage right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and the only, the wizard. The wizard is here. So if we have any issues or you guys have issues, that's the man you talk to.
How's it going?
How we doing?
Doing pretty good. Just catching up on everything.
Sweet. All right. I was going to ask you, I should have asked before the stream. Am I still under the remotion testing pipeline?
Yeah, do you want me to remove it?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm already in it now, but I can kind of tell. We can see, I mean, this might be good for us too, because then we're testing this as well. So
yeah.
So I got 2 clips of work, but yeah, 23. Nick is a wizard. Essentially, if you click on these extend clip sections, it's going to extend the clip for you. If you didn't know that, and we'll see how this works because I am actively under the remotion pipeline. So we'll see. We will see. Nick, you want to give a little update on how hard you've been working on this remotion stuff and kind of essentially what has been going on?
I didn't even expect it to be this big of a task. I mean, I don't know. I guess I just assumed that what I had built was smaller than what it actually was. And there's just so many layers of like how we're displaying the previews and how we're exporting the clips and how the captions are burned into it. Like all of that stuff. It's just, there's multiple areas where this is being handled very particularly. And with the remotion coming in all of this, I'm having to essentially just lay that pipeline on top of all 3 of the other ones and in hope that it works correctly. Figure out why it's not working and tweak it from there. But it's been, what is this? It feels like 4 or 5 days now I've been working on just this one thing. I don't know if there's ever been a thing that I've worked on that took 4 or 5 days in this particular project. Like,
I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, we talked about it, guys. Nick was like, dude, if we would have, when we were building this out, if we would have known that remotion was a thing, it would have been done a lot quicker and a lot faster because Nick has essentially, like he was saying, built pipes to complete this. And now what we're doing is essentially we're keeping the pipes that still work so that you guys can still export clips. And then Nick, on his side, he's building pipes that go over those pipes, right? That then have to connect and make sure that that's working while the other one's still working. So it's like we're in this limbo of getting this stuff to work. But it's not, you know, I'm going to refresh, see maybe this helps. All right, so it looks like this is still
unfortunately for us, remotion didn't exist back then.
Exactly. Remotion was not a thing when we started this, and then it started, and we were like, we need that. Well, if anything, Nick, we'll see if this goes through, and if not, I guess if it's not a hassle, we'll just turn off my remotion testing.
Yeah, it'll only take like 5 minutes. Just got to flip a couple toggles.
Right. But you know what? This is what you do when you build in public, right? You test stuff, test it all out. I'm going to assume this isn't going to work, though, just based on timing.
Well, it's kind of resource intensive, and so that's why I actually had to build a separate service for everything and route it through that. So it may take it a while, but that's also, I think I sent you the update. I'm gonna be pushing to it too soon to fix that. We'll be able, like right now, it's rendering each clip one at a time. I think you can do two concurrently at the same time, but it doesn't go anything beyond that. And so it's pretty slow overall. But here soon we'll be able to handle hundreds at the same time. So.
This, you know, I'm excited. I'm very excited. Very, very, very excited. Excited for what's to come as well. We've we've essentially, once this is done, like then the stuff that we have to do, Nick, it's just little minor tweaks, right? It's nothing crazy. Most of it gets done pretty quick.
Yeah, mostly after the remotion stuff, it's mostly like UI tweaks to remove a few buttons that are redundant now and just kind of button up the flow of everything, really.
Yep.
Not too much more left.
So this is one of our biggest, I guess you call it an update. If you guys don't know, if you guys have kind of been following along with what I've been doing, I have, I'll show this to Nick, but it's pretty cool. And I need to add it to my computer. But I have been dabbling in essentially building out agents to help with this stuff. And I had a friend build me a little Claude bot out of a 3D printer that goes with my Mac. So because I am using Claude for 99.9% of this stuff. If you guys don't know, last stream, I clipped the video of the video I watched that helped me build out agents around kind of our process. And like I said, I'm such a rookie to this stuff. Nick has already been doing a lot of this. So like I'm new to the game, but it's changed my life dramatically. I can, you know, like this morning, I literally was like, Claude, help me do this, and then go and post this for me. And it works. And I'm absolutely baffled. All right. So I wonder if I do, I mean, this might break stuff, but oh, it says retrimmed and now available. Let me refresh. It said retrimmed. I wonder if to update the duration here. Okay, so it says it's updated here, 111 seconds. But I don't know if it's actually, maybe it's just a little behind. Bro, you're all killing this code. Yeah, dude, 23, I am not coding. I need to learn how to, but Nick is the dude who's killing it all, okay? Nick is the wizard behind all of this that you guys are seeing in terms of the features you guys want, in terms of improving stuff on a day-to-day basis. That's all Nick. I offered to help, but I don't know how much I would be able to do.
We'll get you there. I got a feeling that we're probably, I don't know, 6 to 9 months away before it's literally so low of a barrier of entry that anybody can do it at that point. Like,
right.
It's just getting so fast with everything that it's getting scary.
Yeah, it's actually kind of insane. Like I said, the amount that I've like completely automated in just my morning routine and like preparing for things around the company is so detailed now, and it's like takes me 5 minutes to do like a week's of work, which is like exactly what I need. Honestly, it helps me. The best thing about it is like I ADHD, so I cannot stay focused on certain things most of the time. And now that I have like Claude, I just feel like intensely focused on every little thing now because I just have to worry about what it tells me and how to improve things. So like one of the skills, okay, clip process. Oh, but it says it completed. Did it do it?
Thank you, and
oh, it did.
My next.
Wait, did it do it? Where did it?
Thank you, and good morning. My next guest. Thank you, and good morning. My next guest. If you happen to see this gentleman on the beach this weekend, don't kick sand in this.
Okay, Nick, what would you think is happening here? So this clip, I extend it to here, 9:33. Now, what I want you to do, and for some reason, it plays the beginning of the video.
Thank you, and good morning.
Is that just because of the? I mean, I don't know.
So it's playing the beginning of the parent video instead of the new clip times.
Yeah, so it says it was trimmed, and even here in the export, you can see here 111 seconds. So it knows that there's a clip there. It shows the processing's done, but it looks like it's playing the
My next
beginning.
guest, if you happen to see this gentleman on the beach this weekend, don't.
And you can confirm that it was playing something separate before that.
Yeah, it was playing. Yeah, it was playing like right. It was playing like right here.
Okay, so need to look at why reprocessing. So there's so many problems that could be at this point because I've got the old FFmpeg method is still baked into it, and then it can be remotion now. Like I'm thinking.
Curious to see. This is kind of how I debug stuff, but I can kind of click on. It's funny, but I can kind of. Okay, so is that the right clip? Is this what is this one called? Warm and fuzzy. Okay. This will get removed, guys, but this is how I know if something is actually a clip or not. So, okay, it's updated here. This is the right duration, but it's not playing. You can see that. But in this pipeline, it has the right clip, but it looks like it's not. It plays the first 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But this is what should be playing when I click play in the video editor.
All right, let me pull some logs.
Full disclaimer, guys. This is because I am on the new pipeline. This will not happen to you. This is because I am on the new testing pipeline.
Yeah, there's only 2 people that can access that right now. It's still the same for everyone else.
Yeah, still the same. So this is us testing and adjusting the stuff live. But so it's tracking somewhere. It's probably just fighting each other, right?
But the fact that it's only showing 2 seconds of that other one makes me think that it rendered it incomplete, and it may be falling back to the parent video because of a corrupted clip itself.
The more you know. I wonder if I can get it to play here.
Like 30 and 40.
I think that's the clip.
Like 30 and 40 feet in the air. Now,
No, well, my films don't do that. The type of films I want to do is, again, with a good story.
Wait a second. Type of story. Where is that at?
Good acting, with good direction, and with martial arts scenes inserted when it's emotionally right. Meaning
so
that
lost right now.
There's no other choice but for me to use the ability that I have. Because that's the difference between violence and action, is the philosophy of when you use it.
Where is that?
And if a person tries to avoid a violent confrontation, but he's finally pushed into the corner where there's no way out, well, then we want to have the ability to cope with it. And that's basically the character I project on the screen, is the guy that tries to avoid it.
Now, which came first for you, acting, or I'm guessing it's the other way around?
It's it's definitely the other way around. No, I've been in karate for 22 years. I've been in acting now a little over 4 years.
I don't even know where this clip is.
Still very green as an actor.
About 5 or 6 years ago, I became aware to me that I was the only one in the world.
Well, the fact that it's playing so long tells me it's the parent video, because it was at 2 minutes and 20 seconds when it said the clip was 1 minute 30 long. So that was most likely the entire parent video from somewhere.
30 and 40 feet in the air. Now,
30 and 40 feet in the air. Just ask it for the chat. I mean, that is a good. We could try. Should I just ask the? That actually might be. Can I do? Oh yeah, it says air here. See that?
Now, what I want you to do, I want
it's
you to
here.
pull down as hard as you can with the left and push with the right. Hard. Oh!
This is the right clip.
There you go. Right in.
That's so weird.
It's also possible it can be airing out because of timeout issues, because like there's so many, like I noticed last night whenever I was doing a test, I got 7 out of 8 clips to actually process, but then the 8th one failed because it had hit like the 10-minute mark on processing. And I have it where it's like a hard cutoff where it basically just prevents anything from getting stuck forever processing. So there's a hard cutoff on 10 minutes and then it hit that.
Interesting. So it's like semi-finished, or it's I don't even know.
It's there, it just needs to be sped up, which that other thing I sent you last night that will move to the Lambda cloud solution, it'll speed things up significantly.
Sweet.
Like basically something that would take us 5-10 minutes previously would take seconds, in the new update.
Love it.
But a woman, you're now. I guess you and I weigh similar weights. But could a woman, say, who weighs maybe 50 or 60 pounds lighter than a thug?
You see, a woman has an advantage that we don't have. A thug expects a woman to either scream, scratch, things like this here. He is not ready for her to retaliate in a very aggressive manner. And when a woman learns the martial arts...
Nick, I think I need to get a jumpsuit like that. I think I need a Chuck Norris jumpsuit.
And a guy comes up, first of all...
I think I need a Chuck Norris gray Adidas tracksuit. I think that's what I need to start wearing.
In anything. And the
like,
martial arts...
have that be my like persona, like Steve Jobs in his black t-shirt. I think I should just go all gray tracksuit.
Can we make that the company uniform or something?
Yeah, we could all show up. I mean, we have to try and get Felix on board, but...
around you. 90% of the time you can get out of a situation if you're aware of what's going on.
Yeah, 23 probably, I would assume as well. But it's here, it's working, guys.
But if
we just, like I said, this is just because of the pipeline we're testing.
Is accosted. A guy will generally, he'll attack. If she knows how to use the different parts of her body as a weapon, it's very, very effective. If a man walks up...
You know what I'm curious? If I do this, okay. So in the export, it doesn't show up. Noted.
It starts to grab you by the throat or whatever it may be. There's many parts, the knee to the groin, elbow to the jaw, many
Can we
situations
show something here real quick?
Sure, yeah. Well, first of all, okay, it's a woman, a guy grabs right in here. Well, first thing you do is you knee him. As soon as you knee him, then you come up here and grab him right by the hair and then take him right
Twice that's happened.
So this, if you guys remember at the start of the stream, this right here where we're seeing, this was the start of the clip, and what you guys are seeing now is how I extended it by just clicking on the transcript. Does that make sense, 23, for your clip? Like this part is the part that we saw at the beginning of the stream, and then when I went into the transcript and extended it, now it extended the duration of the clip. And you can do that simply just clicking extend clip in the transcript.
Now that's twice that's happened. I've done one of these before with a little old man, and they do that to you, and for just a fleeting second, everything gets warm and fuzzy, And you're seconds away from the...
If you guys don't know, Chuck Norris won an arm wrestling match with both his arms tied behind his back.
Twilight Zone. Good heavens.
but it does work, Dave. That's the great thing about it. It does.
Now, okay, so Nick, should we try to get me off the testing pipeline and see if that changes anything?
We can. Let me look into something that I just noticed to see how this might affect things too. I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know. But we'll start playing. We'll see what else I can get to track and work. Or if anything, we'll come back to this video when I'm off the pipeline and we can look at some of the other stuff that I've already been working on, which might be actually might be fun to do. So if you guys that don't know, started doing actually, let me do this one because I don't think this is the one I was talking about in terms of how I learned to build these agents. This is from Greg. What's his name? I gotta remember it. This is the wrong video. Hold up, let me refresh this. Greg Eisenberg. And essentially I watched an hour-long video on kind of how to build and create agents through different platforms, Claude Code, Cowork. There's a whole Manus, OpenAI. There's a whole bunch of ways you can do this. And this is one of the videos I showed last stream. And this is, I know these will all work because these clips are already processed. But we can kind of look at some of these, and like some of these I want to show you guys because it kind of helps. And Nick, I'm sure you already knew this, but I want to get your take on some of this stuff too, since you've already most of these like terms and stuff. But this video helped me with a lot, especially with the MCP thing, right? So I'm going to show you that one first because it made a lot of sense once he explained MCPs in this way. So I'm curious to hear your take on this.
From when you had on, is it Ross Mike?
Ross Mike, yeah.
Yeah, so he did a great explanation and it just dropped into my head really nicely. And it's basically that before MCPs, your agent or your LLM, in order to speak to tools, it had to kind of learn their language because Claude speaks English, Notion speaks Spanish, Gmail French, your browser speaks Japanese, and Slack speaks Chinese. And it was capable of connecting to those tools, but it required these extensive custom developments that took a long time. But then Anthropic actually created MCP, is that right?
Yep, that's right, yeah.
Anthropic built MCP to basically sit as this translator in between your tools so that Claude can still just speak English and your tools can just speak their languages. And this MCP speaks every language and then just translates your calls from your agent to the tool, and then from the tool back to your agent. So just set a really easy standardized way to connect tools up. And that's what we're going to be using to connect all of the tools to our executive assistant.
So like that when he said that, I was like, that makes sense. That MCP essentially is like a translator, but I want to hear your take on it because I'm sure you have something that people will want to hear and you may have a different take.
I mean, he's not wrong with it. It just, to me, it takes a lot more mental gymnastics to understand that particular definition.
But it's probably because you're an engineer, so right, you're looking at this from a different perspective. But someone like a normal person, you see what I'm saying? Like for me, when I was hearing the term MCP, I was like, oh, it's kind of just like a connector you can add into,
So an easy way to think about this is like almost everybody's familiar with video games, and like back in the day, you could buy all those little add-on packages for your video games, like either new maps or new characters or new something. So think of all of these LLMs, and like Claude, for example, is the video game. It certainly feels like a video game because it gives you the same endorphins and release and everything. So now you need some add-on packages for your brand new video game.
I can confirm it does give you those releases.
Well, that's what MCP does. It's that add-on package where it's like, hey, now I want to connect it to my Gmail. Well, there's an MCP for that. There's another app for everything essentially, where you're just adding on new packages to your tools.
Okay.
And that's all it is. It's just an add-on to your existing toolkit.
Well, now you guys have two ways to think of it. Me, I thought the translating thing makes sense, but also the video game thing also does make sense. It's just like an expansion pack, essentially.
That's all it is.
All right. There you guys. If you guys don't know what MCP is, now you know. And this is the other one that also helped, because I felt like I was probably throwing around the wrong terms too between chat and agent. And this was another video that was clipped out through our platform that I thought was really helpful and really useful. So I'll show this one as well.
Key thing to understand here is chat models versus agents, because the word agent is thrown around lots online. I'm sure you've seen it, Greg, like AI agents this, use this agent for this, and it's kind of lost a lot of meaning. So I wanted to start by giving a really clear definition of what an agent actually is. So the way I think of it is a chat model is question to answer, but then an agent is goal to result. So moving from just like you asking, AI replies, then you do the work, to you giving the agent a task, it planning out the task and then executing and then delivering you a result. Does that make sense?
Crystal clear. I mean, the way I think about it is chat is kind of like ping pong, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
And agent is, you're giving it's a goal. I mean, the best way, you're giving it a goal and you're hoping that over time it gets better and closer to that goal.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. And I just think that's a nice way to lay it out in your head.
What would you say there, Nick?
Again, they're not wrong, but there's just nuances to this that can kind of go both ways. So like your chat models can perform basic level tool calling and things like that, like an agent would, which would be things like weather APIs or something. There's just something simple that tells you what time it is in another country, or like just basic things like that.
Yeah.
And that's similar to how they think about agents and everything. And then on the same side, agents, you could just simply be having a back and forth chat with, where they don't have to perform any tool calling or any functions or anything like that. And so they're giving good definitions and everything. It's just they're putting in both in a box when they're really in the same box, and you're just kind of choosing which side of the box you're playing with.
Yeah. Good to know. All right, here's a good question, Nick. We have, and I know the answer to this, but this would be good to take for you too. So 23 asks, after I upload a stream or a pod, how many hours max do I have to generate more clips? As long as the video's in there, you can keep generating clips. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's not going to auto delete anything basically anything that hasn't been touched in like a month gets auto deleted. But as long as you're still, playing with it, generating clips from it, it's going to stay in there until you remove it.
Yeah, and the
or
same
you run
thing,
out of clip tokens.
Exactly, that too. The other thing though is if you delete the video, right? If you delete the video, the clips are gone with the video. Same with the thumbnail, correct?
May need to check on the clips. I think I may have removed the clip deletion, so it keeps the clips, because I think that was going to get kind of.
But I couldn't
funky.
extend it if the video was deleted.
Oh, that's a good point. We need to keep the parent video, because there wouldn't be a way to extend it.
There wouldn't be a way to extend it, right?
It wouldn't have the data for it. That's a good point.
So it would essentially, you could delete the video, still have the clips, but those clips are set in stone. You can't set in stone in terms of extending or cut. Well, I guess you could cut, right? Ideally. Oh, I might have lost him.
I'm here. Hold on a second.
He's here. He's here. He's here. We're good. But that's just the way to think of it. 23. Does that answer your question? But yeah. So this was a good video I wanted to show you guys. And I already got some clips from this where if you guys want to learn more about this, like I said, I watched this video and I started doing exactly building these out. And I have 4 agents that now kind of automate most of my life, busy work. And so definitely check it out. I'll definitely post some of these clips as well. I already have some already exported, which I can pull up for you guys too. It's the same clips, so maybe I don't need to pull those up. But let's this will be fun. Let's interact with Clippy and see what we can do here. So let's think. Actually, 23, you're in the chat. What do you want to ask this? What do you want to ask Clippy to do? Do we want B-roll? Do we want thumbnails? Do we want? Actually, it might be good to try B-roll because Nick, I was having some issues with B-roll only showing the first frame of the video and not actually playing the video. If that makes sense. Like it would show like the first still shot of the image, and it would show the replicate delivery saying that this is your B-roll, and it would play. But I was having trouble with. Actually, let's try it with this one.
Yeah, B-roll needs a bunch of updates. It's still using like 6-month-old models and everything, which doesn't sound like it's old, but I mean, in AI term, that's a whole generation
old,
ago.
right?
So,
I want some B-roll for this clip that explains chat versus agents. All right, so we'll ask Clippy that there. So part of our roadmap and what we're working on is once Nick has this remotion thing set in stone and we've tested it and verified it on our end, we will then push that out for all you guys to test around with and play around with. And then that's when we start share your prompts to 23. Would it be helpful from a user perspective to have some essentially pre-prompted options for you guys to do, like to choose? Essentially, like, would it be cool to have Clippy already have some ideas around how you can prompt the video? Because that's a good take. Essentially, Nick 23 asked if I could share the prompts that I use to get some of my outputs, which we kind of have already. If you guys are curious, like we have some of these over here on the B-roll tab where you can click this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, if I click this, it'll do the same thing as tagging the video and getting B-roll.
yeah.
Okay.
One thing that I was just thinking too, though, like it's still I have to go through and kind of tweak it some more to make it work right because I'm still in collection mode. But remember, we have that memory button.
Yeah.
And if you start entering in your prompts and it starts, you tell Clippy to do a certain thing 10 times, it's going to remember that that's what you like to have done. And so it's going to be more likely to start suggesting those types of actions and behaviors. And so you're kind of almost in a way fine-tuning the experience the more you use it because it kind of learns about you as you go. Right now, it's still like so early that there's probably I gotta go check it actually because I bet Jordan's got enough in there to start getting some insights on. But it takes data to create this type of stuff, and so most people probably don't have enough data in it right now. And then there's probably also again a few more tweaks that I need to make on it to make sure it's coming back to the context range correctly. But the whole goal is to essentially teach Clippy how to become a better version of itself so that if you have that mode enabled, not only does it learn from your behaviors and help you further along, but then any other behaviors that are learned from others that are basically supplemental to your workload, it can then also perform those as well. And the only way to access that enhanced talent is to also contribute to that enhanced talent.
There you go. So 23. That I hope that answers some of your question. The one thing I'll recommend for you guys, anyone prompting Clippy, is try not to be vague, right? So don't just like at the clip and say B-roll. I mean, you can, but this goes with, AI in general. If you prompt it the right way, the better the output's going to come, right? So to your best of your ability, and we'll try and update from a user perspective, essentially we'll try and make sure that's as easy as possible so that you guys can, simply mindlessly essentially prompt these videos the right way and get you guys the correct output and what you guys want. But going back to what Nick said, once there's enough data and you guys are using this chat window enough, that's when Clipit starts to level up and it has all that data to perform the task that you want. So that might be a fun test. Is like, I'm curious to see how much data I have in there because I'm sure I have quite a bit.
Yeah, I would imagine yours are probably contributing enough to actually see something coming from it. So that'd be a good test. Once I get through this remotion stuff and a couple of things, that's what I'll look at. And
Yeah, that'd be
make
fun.
sure it's working right.
It'd be fun. But I mean, this is like, it's funny. Me and Nick geek out about this stuff, but this is like the baseline of this platform. Like, this platform has potential is crazy, and Nick could tell you about some of the crazy stuff that he's like, dude, once we get here, you're not gonna know what to do, and I just get excited. All right, so here, if you guys, look at, I can't even tell you guys. All right, so here we go. So Clipit has suggested a placement 17.9 seconds into the clip. This is the core definition where the speaker says, chat is a question to answer, but agent is goal to result. This is the perfect, so essentially it's going to break it down for you to give you alternative placements. And then here we go. I'm thinking of B-roll that visually contrasts the chat model side, a person typing a question, waiting for an answer, then having to do more work, and then a back and forth ping pong visual metaphor. And then the agent side, right? So let's say, yes, plan this B-roll, keep it in 16:9 aspect ratio. I do this because I've had it accidentally generate 9:16. I think that's just because I think I wanted it to, I think I probably said like TikTok or something in there. So it just said, oh, that's the normal aspect ratio for that site, which would make sense.
That's another thing I didn't think about either yet, is making sure that if you're creating B-roll that it's sticking to the same clip aspect ratio, because you specifying it, I was just thinking about it. I was like, it does actually have multiple options it can choose from, and so the agent itself decides what aspect ratio the image is going to be. So you specifying it gives it that guidance better.
So that's what I mean is 23, be specific, right? So right now with the current state of the platform, you got to be specific, right? Ultimately, of course, we'll get it to a point where you don't have to be that specific. But just to like essentially cover your ass, it's better to be more specific about your outputs and what you want. So that's what I would say about prompting it, really. And then make sure the brain is on, which you guys can't see because my thing is covering it. But yeah, make sure this little brain is on here. That is how you make sure it is learning. All right, so we'll wait for this one to go, and then let me know if you decide to take me off that list, and then we can go back to the Chuck Norris vid.
If you want, I can push an update, and it'll kind of show me a lot more analytics on the back end about how things are happening, and it should fix a couple of like the timeout issues and stuff.
Yeah, dude, that works.
I'll go ahead and push it. I'll tell you when it's live.
Sweet. Look at that, guys. We are live pushing on stream for you guys. You're welcome, 23. Anytime. I'm going to double click. If you guys are new to this platform and you're just checking us out and you're just coming across our video, or maybe your first time watching the stream, I do these Monday through Friday at the same time, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So essentially my run through of this is if there's essentially it's just like an educational piece where I'll show you guys start to finish how you can use the platform. I'm going in depth on the tools. If we have announcements, I'll break it down on announcements on stream. If we have new features, I'll test them on stream. If Nick has time, he'll jump on and we'll jam on some stuff too. So that's kind of what we do here. And if you guys are curious and want to test out the platform, or you want to get involved with the platform in some way, you can reach out through DM. You can reach out in the chat. We have essentially our beta is credit usage right now. So these credits here is essentially how I'm able to do these outputs. And so essentially you need these to perform anything on the site. So if you don't have those, you can get those a couple ways. Feedback, you can reach out to us through DMs, giving us feedback. You can just simply say, hey, I'm new, I want to try the platform. We also have a referral system that if you have, and I'm just going to open up a new, open this up real quick so you guys can see. We have a referral system. We'll see if we have a referral system here where if you are, if you have an account on the site and you have a friend that doesn't, or you know somebody that has an account and you don't, we have a referral system where we have a leaderboard. There'll be rewards for this stuff. And essentially in your settings here, if you go to profile and go to referrals, this right here, you send them, if you're the user who has an account, send them this link to the person that doesn't have an account. They will then sign up, and then they'll get 500 credits for signing up. And then when they make a clip, the person that referred them, so for instance, if Nick was new to have a site and didn't have a profile, and I sent him my link, he would then sign up through that link. He would get 500 credits, and then when he makes his clip, I get 250. So it's a way you guys can also get credits that way. And then of course we have a leaderboard system. And shout out to Humble for being number 1. So somebody throw off Humble, man, because he's winning so far. Just kind of, that's how you're going to get you can get credits and use the platform. Yeah, that's essentially it. So let's look into this B-roll plan here. So 3 concepts. To give you the cost. So make sure if you're low on credits, like I said, we're usage based. So the more usage you're using, for example, creating thumbnails or B-roll, it's going to cost more credits. So you have to make sure that you have enough credits to complete that output. Same thing with uploading a video. If your video is pretty long and you're at like 150 credits, you got to be careful and make sure that the video length isn't going to affect your credit, because it's going to fail because you don't have credits to provide inference usage. So just verify that you have enough clip for that. So we can see here, chat agent flow. So that's what I'm going to do. So they just gave me 3 other ones that I can try. I'm going to do, yes, go ahead with concept 1. And also here, 23, this also helped too, especially for B-roll. It's going to say, do you approve this plan? And it's going to tell you exactly what you can say to get it to generate. So we'll go ahead with that. And then from there, we'll test out the B-roll. And tool calling, guys, we have a plan for, what would you say, Nick? Roughly tools? How many would you say we roughly have right now? And what is the potential?
I honestly don't know what the total count is now. I know at one point there was like 80 something options, but I stripped out a lot of things because it was kind of clunky, and then they did also add quite a bit more. But the main thing is all of the tools are actually treated as skills, very similar to how Claude works in a lot of the ways.
Yep.
And instead of it instead of it having a toolkit that it's just carrying a whole box of tools that can do everything out of that box, it's got skills that it'll preload. It'll think about what skills it needs for your actions, and it'll just look through all that. I think I want to say there's at least a couple of dozen of those already, but that's kind of like the main drive of like whenever I get done with the remotion stuff, I've got like the current skills in there for B-roll. I think it's using C-Dream 4.5 and who else was that? VO 3.1 for the video. And so both of those will kind of come out and get replaced, which I may keep VO, but it's just stuff like that's got to kind of be tweaked out a little bit more.
And that's all with just time. Like I said, this platform only going to get better the more we do it, right? The more we build upon it, the more we add in. It's just, like if you guys didn't know, we're adding in remotion, and that's why we have some features that are pushed off a little bit, because once remotion is in there, it's ultimately like it's a huge quality of life improvement, honestly. And I guess, you know what I should do is, I think I put it, no, I put it on this one. I'm going to play this real quick. So,
6 months.
Okay, so this right here, I'm going to mute this because I hate hearing myself talk. But for you guys that don't know, the first part of this video, I guess I'll play this. The first part of this video, this is all remotion. So this is all generated through remotion, just a couple prompting. And this is stuff you'll be able to add into your clips. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, but I think that's what we'll be able to do. But you can make stuff like that with remotion. And that also improves captions as well. They have pretty cool caption features.
The cool thing about remotion is it's all code. Like at the end of the day, it's just all of the animations, all of the caption burning, all of that stuff. It's all code. And that means in the age of infinite coding abilities at the spawn of speaking it into existence, we can literally get as creative as we want to and come up with some really cool stuff that probably hasn't been done anywhere else. I mean,
Oh, you hear that?
well, it's literally, like I've pinned it up on my Twitter years ago because I saw this coming. The whole thing that's going to differentiate anyone from literally anyone else is your creativity. Like
Right.
that's it. Because we're at a point where I literally posted this 3 years ago. I said, in basically something to the effect of when everyone has infinite, coding abilities, when everyone can just spawn stuff into existence, then the only thing separating you is your creativity level.
What is your? I thought it was N plus M, right?
Yeah.
N plus M.
You can't find me.
There you are.
A pinned tweet there.
Right here. In a world of infinite possibility, only creativity will shine.
We got our cameras are blocking it, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh.
But yeah, I mean,
There
I
we
saw that coming long ago, and because like I saw the change in myself, like I myself had been just significantly leveling up my own skill set, and that rate of increase and growth that I saw in myself, I started thinking about it. There will be tens of millions of other people that will go through that exact same journey of leveling up their own skills, learning a new skill every week, that type of stuff. And so once we get to that level, and everyone has the same, we got 10 to 50 million engineers out there, and everyone's got their swarm of coding agents, like the world's going to be drastically different. So how are you going to separate yourself?
Yeah.
Be more creative.
Right. That goes back to a good point, and I'm going to butcher this because I don't remember the top. I'll remember the exact phrase he says off the top of my head. But one of my mentors, Mike, Mike, they talk about leveling yourself up essentially. Right? How can you level yourself up, or essentially? So it goes back to that, which is just like, how can you level yourself up, right?
In the very beginning of all this, like I started getting into AI when ChatGPT 3.5 dropped. That was back in 2022, and I instantly, I mean, it was about as smart as a high schooler and everything. So I mean, you couldn't really do anything with it except
I was using it to help me cheat on tests. Not cheat, but just like help with stuff like that, like homework.
Well, I was using it to write lore for NFT collections that were responsive, reactionary-based lore from existing NFT collections, and then creating all kinds of crazy stuff with it. Like, really, it was just more about the writing aspect of it because, I mean, you couldn't trust it. Really, couldn't even trust it for math, let alone code.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I just saw such a significant change in technology in that moment. Like, even though it was, again, a high school student, roughly, in a box, but it was just such a different atmosphere that I mean, I basically knew that I was going to start dedicating most of my days to that. And then I did. I spent for the next 2 years, 8 to 12 hours a day, obsessing about whatever was new in AI and learning about everything. Like there was nobody out there teaching this stuff. You had to dig in yourself. And so that's what I did, And then I've just kind of gotten to the habit where, I mean, putting about 80 hours a week into all of this now. So
I can confirm. I can confirm. All right, so we got B-roll pipeline coming out right now, and we'll test it and see how it looks. Very, very, very excited. It's cool to tell Clipit just go ahead and execute. Is it cool to tell Clipit to just go ahead and execute and don't tell it the process? Eventually, you'll be able to do that. I mean, maybe Nick has a better, Nick knows that area a little more than me, but eventually, yeah, that's the goal, to have something like that if you want. But also, like we're talking about, we still want some sort of human loop as well, but you can kind of choose.
We'll have something pretty soon. I think it's already kind of in the background, just not really surfaced yet, where each user will have a profile account. Like think of it like a brand kit. So like you can add in your own channel features, your thumbnails that you like just different design elements that you're already using. And then that'll be context that Clippy will know about you, so that when you say you are pretty generic about something, like you just drop a video in and you say, do something snazzy, and that's it. It's going to go look at what you like and what you prefer, and then start basing its responses around that. And so like you technically in the future, with enough training data in there and enough information in the brain kit, you quite literally could just drop a video in and say, do it right this time, don't even give it a goal, just like do it right,
right.
make it special or whatever. Like agents don't like that type of stuff because it makes them work more, obviously, but like it's definitely something that we'll have kind of like not gonna say dummy proof, but like just foolproof to the point where it's
it's essentially it's your output. It's still
Yeah.
your output, but it's trained upon that. So 23, I would so turn the brain on so that you're sending data to Clippy so that it knows that stuff. And then of course for announcements like that, we'll obviously tell you guys like, hey, this is now working, try it out. But yeah, make sure the brain is on 23, and I would just say keep using the chat window, but also be very specific what you're trying to do right now so that later down the line it learns and adapts better. But the B-roll is generated, so we can check out this little B-roll video here of what it came up with. Okay, so we got some execs in here. Look at that. This is the B-roll. Let's play it again.
Okay. I'm actually kind of pleased to see that came out as good as it did, because there's a lot of like letters in there and words in there that's a lot of times hard for the agent or the.
I mean, there's ghoul and plan and however you say that, and validate with 2 eyes.
Well, to me that says, oh, okay, I see the middle one now. Goal. It looks like goal to me. Plan, execute looks like it's a little funny. Validates right. That's resume it. So at first glance, it kind of tricked me. I thought it was all right. On the left side, question, answer,
this
clarify,
is good.
repeat. Yeah, that looks good.
Chat flow looks good. Agent flow looks good.
Which this is an old model as well too, yeah. So we'll be getting better soon.
What I've noticed that this model loves to do, and maybe you have too, is it does this little like, let's see if I play it. It does this like little, like whatever you would call this, where stuff just starts glowing. It does this like for almost every B-roll feature I have tried and tested. It does some sort of like blue glow somewhere. This is funny, man. It's so funny to see what it comes up with. All right, so let's see. So now we can see if it plays here. I'm going to refresh this and see if it plays.
All right. Key thing to understand here is chat models versus agents, because the word agent is thrown around lots online. I'm sure you've seen it, Greg, like AI agents this, use this agent for this, and it's kind of lost a lot of meaning. So I wanted to start by giving a really clear definition of what an agent actually is. So the way I think of it is a chat model is question to answer.
Don't shake your head.
An agent is goal to result. So moving from just...
So, I mean, for this clip, like, I guess, I know, Nick, I know. But for this clip, it kind of works as a still frame. But ultimately, we would love to have, this play as well.
I just want to know why. Why is my clips... Well, why is my B-roll just thumbnails?
It seems like the B-roll is just a still image. Do you know why this is happening?
Ask it to double check the ID that it's using for the B-roll and make sure it's not confusing it with the ID for the thumbnail.
All right, so mind the spelling, but we're gonna send that. I didn't even think of that. See, these things,
well,
and I don't.
Because so like Clippy can see all of like the thumbnails generated, but it sees ID numbers to them, and it's supposed to have context around what those are. And then it can see thumbnails, it can see clips, it can see all of these things. It just has to go and look for them. So I'm wondering if when it goes and looks for B-roll, it's finding the thumbnail that was created for the B-roll, but then not actually the B-roll itself.
Well, I wonder if this is the thing. I think this is it, B-roll processing. I can't remember what it called it. I guess we'll see what it says. Check the B-roll status, apply to the clip, and check the ID. Dude, if you've just fixed this by just doing that prompt.
Well, I would have to put something in place to kind of fix it long term, but
yeah,
if that's what it is, it could probably figure it out because it should know all of the IDs it's using.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. If it's like, oh yeah, that is the issue. All right, I guess we'll see what this says. I literally just oh. All right, good catch. Let me investigate. Clip ID, this is the correct clip. The clip shows B-roll has been applied. I don't have the pipeline ID from the generation to check the exact output, but based on what you're seeing, this is likely what happened. The B-roll uses Flux 2 Max to generate an image, and then VO 3.1 to animate it to this video. If you're seeing a still image, it means Flux 2 was successfully generated. VO 3 either failed to animate or produce minimal animation. This can happen when certain visual concepts are harder to animate, like flow diagrams with astroturf elements. Remove and regenerate, which this doesn't do anything. I've tried that. Or regenerate with adjusted settings for more dynamic motion. Keep investigating.
See, okay, scroll back up. It said that it can't find what? The pipeline ID?
Yeah, it says, I don't have the pipeline ID from the generation to check the exact output details.
So if it's got the clip ID,
And it sees
the status. So it's confusing them. So if it doesn't have the pipeline ID, then it has it. How does it know the clip or the B-roll even exists in the first place if it doesn't have the pipeline ID?
Should we ask it?
So you can tell it that you can see the B-roll and tag that B-roll that you saw in your at thing, and then say, put this B-roll in my clip now.
I want to say it's this one. You can see the B-roll, put this in my clip. That's all I need to say?
Yeah, because then it should specify that specific asset and then put that one in the B-roll, and then that would tell us if it was just pulling a thumbnail instead of the actual B-roll.
So if this does fix it, here's what I think a good solution would be: is instead of the like link thing here, I mean, this is just like maybe this would be like a quick fix. Instead of here, you could click it and then it does essentially that prompt in the back. Like you just click a button in the back end, it does that prompt.
Well, really, you shouldn't have to click the button.
No, I know, but I'm saying I'm proposing a solution. But Nick's like, I just want it to be fixed like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a Band-Aid solution. We're gonna fix it.
Yeah. All right, so we'll see here. Let's see if it costs me another 200 credits. All right, so it's applying it. It's applying it. It's applying it. Very curious. All right. Let us cook. Whew. Here we go. I'm so curious. If this fixes the issue, oh man, I don't say. I'm going to say I'm very disappointed in you, Clippy. Ooh, coordinator. Running user clips. Okay. Alrighty. All right. Here's a question I have, Nick, that I'm curious to hear your take on. So and this has been blowing up everywhere, but I've been seeing things blowing up around OpenClaw and essentially clipping, right? OpenClaw and clipping. We've seen a couple sites and stuff that are like, hey, this is OpenClaw, but for clipping. To me, you're already smirking. So to me, I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, this isn't per se an OpenClaw, but this is doing the exact same thing that's been built from the beginning. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, we're more specific to what we're trying to go for, like the goals of clipping and everything. OpenClaws could handle a lot of these types of features and everything, but there's so many catches to that. There's the fact that you're going to be spending an absorbent amount of tokens. Like if you think that putting something like this together was quick and easy, I've got another thing for you. Like it looks, a lot of this does look lightweight and everything, but there's at least 150,000 lines of code in this, I would imagine, if not more. Like I gotta go look at that. There's a lot to this. And so for you to think that you're gonna have your OpenClaw build all of that out on a whim and everything, it's not as achievable as what most people would want, and you're gonna spend a lot of money for it. There's a lot of features out there already that kind of it's like skills you can integrate that teach it how to do things like FFmpeg is really great at handling some pretty lightweight stuff, which is what we've been using. But again, you're going to have to teach your agent how to do all of those things. You're going to spend all the tokens to do all of those things. And in all honesty, at the end of the day, it would probably still be better quality of an output and cheaper if you were to have our agent still do everything. And I don't know. I think I've teased this before, so I guess I could tease it again. But um, there's already infrastructure in the current website in current Clippy currently that enables some agentic connection points.
Ooh.
And so I've already got quite a bit of infrastructure designed around external connections and everything. I just have a lot more to do with that before it goes public. But there's going to be some opportunity for, like, say for example, you have an OpenClaw running on local models and everything. And like, sure, it's free. You don't have to pay for inference or anything. But do you really trust a 70B parameter model to be, outputting the best quality content for you? I've touched every open source model there is. There's not one that's that low of a grade that I would trust for anything, honestly, especially anything important. But I mean, so the idea of that is if you have a lower quality model running it, I mean, that's great because it can power everything for free. But now you have a connection point to reach out to another model like mine, like Clippy here. And so you can just have your agent communicate with my agent and you get your output at the end of the day.
So essentially, guys, what he's saying is, and there's been a lot of talk around this recently, like, oh, I used Claude Code to edit this. I used OpenClaw to do this and make this for me. So essentially, guys, you guys have to understand is those work, right? They work. But from a cost perspective and a usage perspective, it's what would you say? It's not a sustainable way to do that, essentially. Like it is, but it's like it's going to cost you way more.
Yeah, like it's gonna feel cool having a learning experience, but
So
you're gonna
for those, so for instance, so the stuff I've been seeing is like, oh, my OpenClaw, I just text my OpenClaw through Telegram this YouTube link, and then it gets me this output. You know what I mean? To me, that seems more of a hassle because, first of all, the Telegram thing, right? Having to send it to the Telegram, right? Having to have it send it back to you, tell it what moments it found, have it extract and do all of that. Where for us, it's like you just put the video in here. It's already in our site. It already has the context. It knows what to do. It knows what it can do. It knows what it can't do. And it just gives you that output, which to me seems, one, easier, and two, more reliable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just also thinking too, like I've got an OpenClaw. They're great tools and everything, so like we're not knocking them whatsoever.
Yeah.
But
No, not knocking.
when it comes to the sense of performance in this particular category, like this, everything's already so spec built already. The OpenClaws would just have so much of a hassle to catch up with everything because it doesn't have all the same tooling. And then on top of that, like you'd have to dedicate an OpenClaw to just the clipping, editing, and that type of feature and function because there's going to be so many skills involved, so many cron jobs going off every day, so many things happening with that one platform or that one OpenClaw to make it possible. You're not going to be able to use it for anything else. Like it's not going to be a great marketer. It's not going to be great for coding. Like you're going to be so focused on all of those skills doing one thing. Like I just there's a lot of I'm not gonna say cons, but like just considerations to go through with that kind of stuff. Like at the end of the day, they can do it 100%. They can do all of these types of things. They just can't do it as efficiently and as to the degree that something that the spec built could.
There it is. I mean, that's what I would say is like this is specifically tailored around this specific output. This like like OpenClaw has kind of that like open, you could add stuff onto it and whatever. You can also do that here, but this is specifically tailored to help you create short form content. And that's all it knows how to do. I mean, I'm sure Nick would be like, it can do a lot more than that. But it's specifically tailored to do that. So you can kind of think of it as like, I come from a sports background, so this is how I think of it. Like for sports, like you have the different roles. You have your point guard, right? Your shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, right? So like you can kind of think of, okay, your OpenClaw has to be the point guard, the shooting guard, the small forward, the power forward, and the center. Clippy, right, or Clipit is essentially, it's your point guard that's orchestrating everything that already knows how to dribble, it knows how to pass, it knows how to shoot, it knows what to do in its role. So it's going to be a way better point guard, for lack of better terms, point guard in terms of giving you the output. So as a coach, you're going to want to use the point guard that can improve your full team rather than having one thing that's going to try and do everything for you, right? It's going to be good at what it does, but it's not going to be great at what it does. Is that a good way to kind of put that?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
All right, so here we go, Nick. It says, here's the issue. The B-roll you reference appears to be a pipeline ID rather than a saved clip. Unfortunately, pipeline IDs expire after 1 hour. They're temporary containers for the B-roll process. B-roll wasn't saved as a permanent clip in your library. Looking at your clips, I don't see the parallel processing network B-roll stored as an asset. Let me regenerate fresh B-roll for your chat versus agent clip. I'll use the same concept, so I don't know what that means, but that's what it's saying.
Interesting. Well, it's saying enough that should pop up in my logs now, so I'm gonna treat that as error logs, and I'm gonna have to dig into that.
All right. Well, we just debugged live on stream.
Do you want me to? Well, actually, I don't know if you've even refreshed your thing yet to get my recent updates that I pushed.
So should I try the check Norris stuff again?
Probably want to try everything from the start, like just go through the flow again.
From the start? Yeah. That's fine. Let's do it. I might need to share, hide my screen and top. No, I should be able to get this video through, right? 200, I have 600. What do you say, 11-minute video?
Yeah.
Should be good.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to try again from the jump. All right. Here we go. So Nick has pushed some updates that seem to, we'll see essentially what happens. What will happen? What will happen? That's the real question. All right. Yeah, dude, look how many clips I have. I think I have enough data there.
You're the reason our storage bill is so high.
here's the funny part. Yesterday, I went through and deleted like a bunch. Jeez. I am a core power user. If you guys like, I know this product in and out.
You're going to be the first one you're actually going to be the one to test if we have any actual limits on max storage size, because we do have limits, but we haven't actually filled up an account to the point that we can test that limit to make sure it's triggering.
For reference, this is 5 days a week, right? Multiple videos. Like, it's good data to have on both the usage side and back, like, infrastructure side.
Definitely is. I'll agree to that.
It's Nick's just like, just slow down, because there's 200 other people that are also using this, so I can't be selfish. But I mean, I kind of want to be. So, all right, we'll wait for this to go. All right. If you're just tuning in, we have done a lot. We have done a lot, actually. So we kind of we've been testing out this trying to grab this Chuck Norris video, which we got through. But initially, I am still on the Remotion pipeline testing, I guess, list, you could call it. There's just 2 people on it. So the output that we got we're still testing it. So the first extraction and clips I got, there were some issues there, which won't happen for you guys because there's only 2 people on the list, me and Nick, testing out the Remotion stuff we're adding in. But Nick just pushed an update where now we're trying the whole flow again, just to double check and double verify everything. And then we can look at those Chuck Norris clips, because I'm excited for some Chuck Norris clips. Those are some great questions from the chat around agent and prompting and how you guys can essentially improve your agent experience and your Clipit experience. So that is a good. So if you're tuning in and you want to know more, just rewind the stream, watch the rest of it, because why not? All right. So now we're waiting for an extraction, and then from there we'll be able to clip.
I think I'm going to build an error, like a log catcher, essentially, that only looks for your user ID in the logs. And so it just drops everything that you're doing into a separate channel for me.
That would be sick. I like that.
That way, like, I can kind of see like your entire flow from like one button click to the next button click, and like see what breaks in between each button click, essentially.
That would be great, actually, because that way it saves me DMing you like, something happened, don't know what.
I'll be like, I'm gonna go pull Jordan's logs.
yeah. I'll just be like, something's broke, and then I'll just look at the log. It's hard to explain stuff, guys, when you don't know what's happening.
All right.
right.
I can confirm I found the B-roll issue as well, so I'm working on that now. There's actually 3 different issues with it.
Oh, well, good to know. Good thing we found it by just asking Clippy.
It was the pipeline ID not coming through, which is crazy. It's crazy that Clippy diagnosed itself like that.
Well, that's the stuff you were saying is like, you're like, dude, like, how is it doing this?
Yeah, like just last night, what was that? I told it to, oh yeah, I just was testing out the remotion stuff. And so I told it, create a clip from this second to this second. It was like a 30-second clip or something like that. And it basically did, but I always, like every time I've had it do that type of stuff, it had that little button to either clip it or preview it. And so that was always the output. This time, because I was so direct, it just did it and then it put it straight in my library.
Well, I've noticed that too, is there was a group in the hackathon that wanted me to clip out a specific part of this video. So I looked in the transcript instead of just clicking it. I think this might have been before we had that. And essentially I read the transcript, found the timestamps, and I said from here and here, make this clip. And it made it for me right away. And then it just labeled it. It literally labeled it like AI clip. It was pretty funny. Probably because I bet you if I would have titled it, right, make this clip, call it this, it probably would have chose that title.
Yeah. But I guess it's because it kind of like it's goal oriented. So like the very first thing that it does is reviews the user's request and thinks about it, and then it goes through an iteration process thinking about what tools does it need for this. So if as long as all of the criteria are met, so like you gave it exact timestamps and exact goals, and so it just did the exact thing without having to ask the user, hey, do you want this clip? Do you want to preview it or whatever else? It just did the thing because it had everything met.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, it's pretty sick that it does it. That's the best part.
Can't decide if it's a bug or a feature.
It's both. All right, this is loading. Sweet. Just because I'm going to explode if I don't, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. Nick, keep him entertained.
Take your time.
Okay.
Where's this chat at? Jordan keeps reading. Let me go hunt. Where y'all talking to him at? Pump.fun, Twitch? Where we at? Twitter? Let me pull up some other chats over here. Don't look like anybody's chatting on Pump. Maybe that, so I don't hear myself. That was. Do I really sound like that? I'm sorry, guys. Should I hijack your screen? I don't even know what to show you guys. I can show you some code, but that's kind of boring. Let's see if I can go chat here. I should have been asking him where y'all are chatting at because I don't see nobody talking anywhere. Let's see if I can hijack your screen. You want to watch Claude work on some B-roll effects? Oh, hurry. Aha, we took it. I have stolen the screen.
What happened?
I think I stole the screen. I don't know if it actually worked.
Oh no, I think I have to add you up. I can add you up though. Here, we'll hide it. This will be cool to see. Okay. There, you're up.
I thought I was over. I was over here sharing.
No, it has. No. So I have to invite your screen up.
Okay. Yeah, I was just over here like I can't even entertain him because I can't control his screen. I was like, what if I can steal it? So I was like over here.
Well, I bet you I could like promote you or something, but I should have looked. I should have just been like, Nick, take over the screen. I should have just. All right, so what are we looking at?
Right now, I've got Claude looking at the B-roll problems. We basically just broke what was happening here. And so it was looking through, it said, found the B-roll issues, investigate the pipeline code. So then it said 3 distinct B-roll issues. So now we're looking to see what actually is going on here. Over here on the other screen is another agent. I got
Codex. Is sick.
Got Codex on the right.
Is this your pipeline that you're telling me about that's been like OP?
Yeah, so Claude on the left is your planner, debugger, like finds things that's going on. It also basically can just run the command, what was it, grab? Yeah, grab logs. I don't know why there's 4 of them now, but grab logs basically just pulls all the logs from Railway. So it can see in
Huh.
real time what's happening, and basically just kind of like see how it's going to fix things from here. On the other side, GPT, like Codex's plan, Codex is currently a better coder in a lot of ways, but Opus is a better planner, orchestrator, and everything. And so I feel like that's basically the best flow is pairing them together.
Hmm.
And GPT does most of my coding. I don't know why. Oh wait, this is top of the screen. Okay.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I'll let you take back over now since I got some work to do right here.
I hate when it does that layout. All right, so we're still downloading, but I feel like I just, it feels like I just escaped a Chuck Norris headlock. I had to explode going to the bathroom, so I feel relieved. That's too much information. Sincerely apologize, but let's see what Chuck Norris has to say. The best part, if you guys don't know, I posted a Chuck Norris kind of tribute talking about how Chuck Norris has won an arm wrestle with both of his hands tied behind his back, because that's how much of a legend this dude is. And we're about to clip him. Uh-oh. We're up to 10 minutes. Let's see.
Well, why is it still stuck on 40? Hold on. After this B-roll, I'm gonna pull some more logs and see. It shouldn't be stuck on. Wait, let's see. No, still 40. So 40 is like the first checkpoint. Then after that, it's actually uploading. That's like the upload the temp file or something. That's the same thing with those carousel clips. The 10% point is the start of the rendering, and then anything after that's the actual rendering.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, when you was telling me the other day that they were all getting stuck at 10%, I was thinking, well, at least I know why they're where they're stuck at. Like I know they hit that one gate and they couldn't go further.
Oh, it's funny. It'd be cool to like in our next like user updates to have like, and maybe instead of like 40, we have it set up by like extracting and uploading, and then the next step is like cutting and rendering or something. Would be kind of cool, just so it's like they kind of know that way too. I think it will help if it's like, hey, like my clip failed at exporting and whatever, rather than my clip failed at 5% or whatever. All right. So we'll see what happens here, because it should only take about 5-ish minutes for a video. So it's from YouTube. YouTube's longer. X.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you was doing it from YouTube.
Yeah. X is almost, I mean, dude, honestly, X is almost instant. All the other platforms are pretty instant.
I'll be back in just a minute. Somebody's pulling in my yard.
You're good. No worries. I'll sit here and entertain everybody. All right. So we'll see if this goes through on YouTube. If not, we can pull another one from somewhere, but we'll see. We'll give it a little more time. Nick's also pulling the logs, so it's good for us to know kind of what's happening, essentially what's happening on the platform. It's good to know. But so I guess we'll check it out and see what is happening with our beautiful platform. We won't specifically know until Nick comes back, but hopefully by then we have a log that says something. We already got the video through once, so this is more just. Oh, and for when he's talking about, I forgot you're doing YouTube. YouTube, just the extract from YouTube is going to take a tad bit longer, just because of how we had to build out the system. If you guys remember correctly, if you're part of our core community members, YouTube is extremely fast, but there was a point where YouTube essentially kind of cut us off. Oh, look at that. So it's fine. So YouTube's going to take a little bit longer, so bear with that. But essentially, YouTube takes a little bit longer just because we have to build it in a way that it still works for everybody and nobody gets limited, because certain people would get essentially rate limited on the videos they were trying to get from YouTube. But so YouTube, if you're using YouTube, just know it takes a tad bit longer than normal, but that's just because of how it's designed on purpose so that our platform is steady and consistent. All right, so we're going to generate some clips here and see if we have any improvements. I knew it would work. I have faith in Clippy. All right. So you can see here, analyzing transcript, it's scoring clips for virality now, and now it's selecting the best clips. So we'll kind of see what we got here. It went through. It was about 12-ish minutes or so, but it went through. Which kind of makes sense for YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube's going to be slower, but best we can do right now.
Yeah. Like I said, I am completely fine with having YouTube work consistently with it being a tad bit longer than with the issue we had earlier where it was essentially super fast, but then there was risk there. All right, let's see what we get. Very excited, very, very excited. So this is me still on their motion pipeline, just with new fixes.
Correct.
Sweet. Love
and
it.
better logs on the back end so I can see what's happening step by step.
Ooh, okay. We got 8 clips. I knocked out 3 stuntmen by accident. That's a good clip. Stranger walks into my house. Bizarre true story. Chuck Norris throws David Letterman. Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee. The controversial comparison. Seconds away from Twilight Zone. Why women have self-defense, have advantage in self-defense, and give him the wallet, but know when to fight. Okay. So far, so good. I like these. You can see the summary here. Chuck admits he's actually knocked out 3 stunt performers, including his own brother, during a filming because they weren't used to his real contact fighting. The 4th guy refusing to continue his comedy goal. So this summary, this is what Clippy has seen in the transcript and ultimately telling you why it chose it.
Correct.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right. Here we go. If you guys didn't know, too, if you're tired of the carousel, you can also switch to this look. Just a little, you know, the more you know. 95% for virality. There it is.
Do you want me to go ahead and push the B-roll fixes so it's there when you refresh?
Will that affect this?
Yeah, let's wait till it's done processing.
I got 1 at 10, 0, 0, 3. Oh, they're moving.
It'll do 2 at a time.
2 at a time. Good to know. Good to know. So you said 10% is the first like gateway?
Yep.
Got it. We have one.
They should all make it to 10%, and then okay. So if one went through, then they're all going to go through. It's just going to be 2 at a time.
All right, let's see.
Nobody gets hurt in one of those, do they?
Well, not all the time. Sometimes we have a few injuries in Octagon, but generally.
What kind of injuries were they?
Well, I knocked 3 guys out in a row in a fight scene. What happened is the first guy I was not one of my regular guys I fight with, and I hit him. And
Was
I knocked him.
a guy delivering eats
No,
or
he was a
something?
stuntman. No, he was a
Here's your
stuntman.
soup.
He wasn't used to taking that because I do make contact generally in my films, and both my guys are conditioned to it, and this guy wasn't. And when I hit him, I knocked him out. And when then I thought, oh my gosh, I've hurt him. Then my second guy attacked, and I lost my train of thought, and I reacted out of instinct, and I kicked and knocked him out. And my third guy was my brother. My brother said, oh my gosh, he's lost his concentration. He jumped out and I knocked him and hit him in the head, knocked him out. And the 4th guy's on top and says, I'm not going down there.
But after the second guy went out cold, did you kind of see a trend forming there?
Yeah, but it happens so fast. It happens very, very fast. Yeah. You don't have time to really think. It has to be a spontaneous reaction.
You got all the time you need to think you're
But actually, normally,
nobody gets hurt in one.
That's a good clip. That's a good one.
That was a good clip.
All right. Should I try exporting from here, or should I go into the advanced?
Do you remember what was it I sent you last night? Let's see.
Well, I think you said clip you recommended I go into the advanced path. I think you said this might still have the F whatever peg.
Export button in the editor rather than the download buttons in the quick clips carousel.
What?
In the editor.
I mean, I have export clip here.
Okay, so that would be right. You'd click that one, not the download button.
This is the other thing too that we need to adjust is I was using this, like here, I'll show you this for example. I came across this the other day on stream, but like the cropping thing here. Whoops. Oh no. Like when I went here, maybe it's this one. Like when I did this, I don't know if it's gonna let me. Oh yeah, whoops. When I did this, actually, let's see if I can get this to stack.
I did do an update on that. I remember probably 3 or 4 days ago.
Okay, so now I think I need to press this and then edit boxes. But I don't know how to stack it.
Yeah, why is it not?
That the other thing I noticed too is like if I go to export clip here. Okay, so it's here. Wait, what is it?
Well, seems like one of your boxes got overwritten.
Okay, I'm gonna. This shouldn't be cropped right now. I'm gonna try it again. Manual. And so it says 104. So I'm gonna crop here. I'm gonna crop like that, and then I'm gonna drag it on here. And I'm gonna crop that. I'm gonna hit apply crop, right?
Yep.
Apply crop. And then do I need to adjust or edit boxes? Open manual crop to adjust individual boxes. Okay, apply crop. That's correct. Now if I go to export, dude, we're closer. Can I?
Closer.
But here's the issue I had. Like for instance, on the preview here, it shows these boxes. But like when I tried to do this, see how? Oh wait, maybe that's gonna work. Should I just try to export it?
See, you can do side by side and stacked there.
This looks stacked, but the thing I'm seeing is box 2. It's showing the full video.
Yeah, why is it not adhering? So I wonder if it's also box 3 would show a full video because maybe those box 2 and 3 and 4 for some reason aren't sticking. Just thinking out loud.
Dude. Okay, that's the only issue though.
Yeah, that's
dude, but this is kind of sick.
It's not the right thing though.
I know, but like look at this. Like this is kind of cool. I mean, if we had a different video or something, it'd be pretty sick. But I would love it to right like that. I don't know how to, like for instance, if I do, which one is box 2 is the bottom, which should be blue.
Yes.
I'm gonna try and maybe, yeah, see that? I don't know why it does that.
That's kind of confusing.
Well, here, okay, let's try one box. Manual crop. Let's see if I go apply crop, and then am I stuck? Oh no, I'm by 16 because I was messing around with this and I saw you can like, fine tune it.
Yeah.
Like you can fine tune it here.
Yeah.
And then let's see what it looks like now. So it cropped to 16:9, but for some reason it still scales it down.
And so here, what it's doing is showing you on the front, like we're seeing what you were supposed to be cropping, like that little cropped version. But when you move that green box, for some reason, it's changing that vision of what's been cropped. Basically, like it's repositioning the box on the parent picture, so it's showing something new. Essentially, that's a really weird bug.
But I mean, we're closer, right? So if I export and go to, like, that's the right spot. It's just not filled. I'm curious to see what I do if I do this. I want to see if it. I'm going to try and export just like this and see if I get. What if I do this? Same thing. I'm going to try and export that from there. But I am now going to undo that. And then we'll have that crop. I'm going to check that one, but then we'll go into the advanced editor as well. All right, so let's go into advanced. Okay, so these are still processing, looks like, which is part of, oh, I guess I moved myself. I probably was hiding most of that workflow. Whoop. My bad. We're just debugging some of these. Look, there's an outline on those now. Okay, I'm curious to see what this looks like. Okay. I'm about to share this. Dude, you gotta see this. Look at this. This is right from my QuickTime player. I guess we'll go down there. This is the it's the right aspect ratio.
Nobody gets hurt in one of those.
Well, not all the time. Sometimes we have a few injuries in Octagon, but
What
generally,
kind of injuries were there?
It's just hard because like I think we'll probably need like face tracking or
not
something.
3 guys out in a row in a fight scene. What happened is the first
Gotta
guy
have it in place a bit already. Just need some fine tuning as well.
hit him.
It
And I
was
knocked
a
him.
guy delivering eats
No,
or
he was a
something?
stuntman. No, he was a
Here's your
stuntman.
soup.
He wasn't used to taking that because I do make contact generally in my films, and but my guys are conditioned to it, and this guy wasn't. And when I hit,
Okay, well that's cool. The cropping it's hard from a user perspective, I'll say right now. But we can verify that it is semi-working. All right.
And I'm pretty sure it's still in there. When you click the auto crop button, it should automatically detect the person's face and like kind of crop around that. Because I've got it running through a model that literally that's its only that's its entire purpose in life is to look at an image, find out where the faces are at, like, and then respond back with a output or borders.
Whenever I've tried it in both the versions, I've always gotten an error. So we'll try it here. The other thing too is like I can't get this manual crop, and honestly I think a lot of this, and this is one of the bugs I sent you a little bit ago, I think a lot of this interacting with this playhead is because of like this. Like for instance, I know like Claude's like, oh yeah, you can drag those wherever you want and adjust it. See what I'm saying?
I'm not dragon.
That's what I'm saying. But in here, this is what I keep referencing you whenever I do bug stuff. Is like this right, and then this, of course. Okay, this probably won't load now too, unless I do this. Like this, for instance, I was able to when there was kept like this. This was able to let me do all that. So we just need to replicate this, and I think this right here. I don't know why. Maybe this is because we're doing the remotion stuff. But if we can make this right here. Essentially, when I click here, preview and export, instead of this, I think we should have it be this because this is essentially the same thing. But then you can adjust it. So that way a user in here doesn't have to go down here and adjust with these.
Yep. This is one of the reasons Remotion was such a big task is because we've got this box and then the last box you showed and then media player, then the carousels. So
and it's all getting fixed. It just takes a long time.
Literally every one of those will be working on Remotion's pipeline soon.
Yep.
So it'll all be uniform. And
so we're gonna export this because this is a great clip, and I'm gonna do it 16:9 because I think it's a good clip to have in 16:9. Okay, so first clip I didn't have. It didn't look like I had the Remotion pipeline. It looked like it was still the same, unless that's what Remotion looks like, and it's just not like accurate to what these text things are. Because when I'm doing this, I'm expecting to see this where it kind of like
not all the time. Sometimes
does
we have
that.
If the text still changes from the captions on the sidebar, then it's burning the FFmpeg captions.
Do we have a way to adjust that?
Yeah, hold on. I did a test last night and I had captions working.
Okay, so is that just because I'm clicking the wrong ones? I'll show you exactly what I just got exported right
Possible.
now. Share screen, share window. All right, this is what I exported with, and this just seems like the same.
Nobody gets hurt in one of those.
Well, not all the time. Sometimes we have a few injuries in Octagon, but generally.
What kind of injuries were they?
Well, I knocked 3 guys out in a row in a fight scene. What happened?
That's Remotion.
What's not?
It's just not. It's not animated or anything. And if it wasn't Remotion, if it was still the old ones, it would be colored because it would have like that green and white bounce like we've already got.
I have every time I've exported a clip, I haven't been able to get. This is what I get every time. Just the standard text white, and so I'm not able to get the bounce on the FFmpeg one, and that's why I was like, I'm still seeing the same thing. Okay. So from the normal stuff, right? This is the same output I've been getting, which could just be the buttons here probably trigger. Let me unshare this now. The buttons on our this probably still trigger that, I would assume. That's what it seems like, maybe, but I don't know. do not know. So that's what essentially I'm seeing in terms of the remotion stuff.
Well, if you want me to, I can flip your ID out of it.
No, it's fine. I mean, we're testing it, right? I'm good to test it. But yeah, so if you guys are aware, we're pretty much, we just does our whole walkthrough, our whole flow, how we got clips, how you can make clips on our platform, what we're about. So you guys know Nick is working actively on remotion, getting a lot of the bugs and features there ironed out, and we know where we need to go to. So once remotion is fully integrated and perfectly dialed in, I'll have a big announcement for you guys on that. But it's been a fun stream. We did we got Nick on talking about some cool stuff. He was showing kind of what he's building, talked to you guys through how you can use the platform, how you guys can get credits, telling you guys about the updates that we're doing. And then, like I said, remotion is our biggest task right now that we are trying to get done. Once that's done, we can start working on to more of those user experience and minor little bug tweaks and fixes, because those don't take as much time as something like this would. But yeah, I think that's all I got for y'all today. I will be back live on Monday, hopefully with some fun new updates. Of course, me and Nick will be working on stuff after this as well, just kind of ironing out bugs and whatnot as we ship new features. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in and staying along with us and interacting with us in the chat. It's really fun. If you guys have any questions, I'll reach out, right? If you guys are new or just tuning in at the end of the stream, we are Clipit. We're essentially your AI-powered content engine where you take long-form videos from YouTube, Twitter, Twitter/X, Google Drive links, Twitch, Pump.fun. You can upload them into our platform, and from there, Clipit will then turn that into short-form clips that are captioned, they're cut, and then we have an agent as well that'll help improve your experience, like at B-roll, create your social calendars, and eventually we'll have like publishing and whatnot. And that's kind of what we're building out. So yeah, if you guys want to know any more or get access to the site, go to our X page, reach out to the DMs, or find someone that's a referral link, because that's another way you can get it. But you want to leave them with anything, Nick, before we sign off?
I don't think I have anything to add. I think I've covered. I mean, I don't want to give them too much of the teasers of the future. I've already teased a little bit about what we got going on.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, it was a blast. Always fun. We have Nick on. It brings a whole nother dynamic to this stream, so I enjoy it thoroughly. But with that being said, y'all, I will catch y'all on Monday. Stay tuned for some fun updates, and stay tuned for some more content coming out as well on both YouTube and X. I will catch you guys on Monday. Peace.